Today I'm going to be talking about religious trauma, specifically my religious trauma and how it has shown up for me recently. Some of you may know that I grew up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I left that religion over 15 years ago, and one of the very first things that I remember feeling after I left the church was that I did not want to be fooled again. I was so afraid of being fooled again that for many years I refused to engage with any type of anything that even rang of spirituality. As the years went on, I found that there was still something about being human that was intriguing to me. I found myself becoming curious again about spirituality in a way that felt private and self-directed. I'm also a therapist, which means that my ethical duty is to do no harm. Sometimes it has been difficult for me to check in on when I should share things about religion or spirituality or not, because it's not about me in therapy. It's not my place to share these things unless I am specifically asked, and that is the number one mistake that I made recently. I found myself in a space with individuals who trust me and have been very vulnerable with me, and I do recognize that I have a position of power over them. There's that power differential that happens when you are in a therapeutic relationship. And so a big part of this video today is me being accountable for recognizing that in that space I was there as a therapist and not as a individual on equal footing, and I have been thinking about it for probably about a week now. I was informed, thankfully, and this person was so gracious and so lovely in letting me know about how what I had said was triggering to them, and honestly it would have been triggering to me if this situation was reversed. Because I have religious trauma, and many of my clients have religious trauma. When you have religious trauma, it's scary when somebody is sharing their beliefs, whether they're trying to convince you that they're true or not, right? It definitely was not a missionary moment, but I shared some things about some experiences that I had had that were very important to me, and I trusted that that space was a safe space for that. And honestly, it was not, because I was not the one who needed to have a safe space in that situation. And nobody specifically asked me to share this. We were engaging in an open dialogue, and I lost sight of a couple of things. I lost sight of who I am. I lost sight of the fact that even if I believe something to be important or true in a spiritual sense, that's not mine to share unless it is specifically asked for. How many times in our lives growing up religious, especially LDS, were we told something was true? And we're encouraged to bear your testimony so that others may know things are true. There's some part of us that thinks we need to pay attention. And when it comes from somebody that you trust, especially after leaving a space where you don't trust many people, you don't trust the prophets, you don't trust the teachings, you don't trust the doctrine, you don't trust any of those things to be of help to you, then the effect of having somebody that you trust say things that make you feel like you can't trust them is very understandable. And could feel unsafe. As a therapist and as a person, I do not ever want anybody to have to experience that again with me. It was eye-opening and devastating, but also incredibly important to realize that I went from somebody who was saying, I never want to be fooled again, to somebody who, best intentions aside, said some things that caused distress in that context. It makes me sad that religious trauma can make even conversations about spirituality feel like we're in danger. I've learned that, first of all, I'm never going to share these types of things again unless I'm explicitly asked. I'm still making mistakes, as we all are. It's important to say I'm sorry, to say I fucked up. It was something I needed to learn. Take responsibility and be aware of your own stuff. I went to school to become a therapist specifically to work with religious trauma. No one should force anyone to believe anything. I am grateful that the individuals that felt triggered by my words have felt comfortable enough with me to reach out and let me know. And that's what I'm going to hold on to. That I can change and that I am changing. I've done something very hard for me today, but I know it is what I had to do.